Welcome, Generals, to Ray Rivers Gaming and my after-action report playing the Axis in Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa. And I apologize for the length of part two. I broke up the campaign into three parts, each containing 15 moves, and you can kind of see it as the first 15 moves were the Blitzkrieg portion. The second part was the sustained operations, in which I'm attriting the Russians as heavily as possible, and then in this last phase, we're going to be cleaning up. Again, attriting as many of the Russians as possible to open up the final avenues of attack to Moscow and Leningrad, as Rostov is pretty much in the bag right now. What we see here is, once again, trying to bag as many as we can. Over here we've got a group surrounded. We had some guys in here. We've cleaned them up. The Finns are coming down now. We're closing in on Leningrad. This marsh area now is not significant. We have so many troops that it will not stop us from advancing wherever we want to go. Here we're moving on Rostov. Here I'm trying to get down to Sevastopol, but that's an awful long way to go for 4th and 11th Army. Okay, so we're not going to make it to Sevastopol. So let's dive right in, shall we, to the last 15 moves. So here we are in the 20th of October, and 9th Army can now start going on the offensive. We're still always looking for an opportunity to make pockets if we can as we push towards Moscow. Over here, we're slowly inching towards Leningrad. This frontier is just collapsing. Our 17th Army now will be shifting over here to help out. Rostov, we're closing in on them. This area is collapsing as well. These guys, again, surrounded. Always surround if you can, because the attack will be far less casualties. 3rd Army now is going to be heading up towards Belgrade. And once this situation is cleared up here, because we have a lot of Russians, 17th Army will head for Kursk. What's the 20th of October? Here we are in the 24th of October, and once again, as you can see, always trying to get those penetrations to isolate as many guys as possible. The envelopments now by your panzers are far smaller, but that's okay. The more guys you kill off, the better. Up here, you see, and I've just isolated a big group up here. It's going to make things easier for me to come around this guy. They're always looking for weaknesses in their line to penetrate through. Okay. 4th Army now, they've taken Kharkov, and they're headed for Belgorod. 1st Panzer knocking on the gates of Rostov. And you see, once again, always trying to encircle as much as possible. These guys here have been destroyed, and now it's 11th Army coming down here. just a quick look at the stats. Again, you can see the Soviet army has just plunged now. They're down to 970,000 men. We're up at 1,300,000 casualties. Now, casualties, they have 3,300,000. We have 700,000. Okay, and we're now at less than 5 to 1. We started off in the first phase, we had 6 to 1, then we went to 5 to 1, and now we're going to end up at about 4.5 to 1 because I feel I have the upper hand, and the most important thing is to cause as many casualties as possible, whether that serves at all. What it does do is it puts more pressure on them, and so pretty much at every opportunity, I'll just bang on these guys. During this time, I rest a couple armies and switch them over to sustained. There's no reason now for most of these guys to be in blitzkrieg mode. It's pretty obvious we've gotten the upper hand on them. 9th Army coming. All right. So that's the 24th of October. Here we're now on the 28th of October. A lot of bad weather, but it's not stopping me. These guys coming down. We're consolidating forces here to surround Leningrad. Got this group surrounded here. All the cities are important because they give you 1 victory point. Okay. 3rd Panzer is on rest and being switched to sustained. You can see now I'm starting to bring 17th Army over here to finish this over here with all the Russians that are here. 3rd Romanian moving forward. 1st Panzer making progress, although it's slow now because of all the bad weather. Big battle going on down here. A huge amount of partisans affecting us, our advance now, because we've taken so much of the area of Army Group South. And that's the situation on the 28th of October. So here we are in the 1st of November. And as you can see, the Russians are pretty beat up here. Not a whole lot of resistance going on. Isolated these guys. Problem we're having up here is we don't have the fuel. But we continue to make advances. Now 11th Army, 17th Army is moving more troops into this area here. And you see like this guy here, I'll attack him because why not, you know? More there you go, you see I broke another unit. And he's threatening the approach to Kursk, so we just bang him. 1st Panzer slowly getting around to encircle Rostov. Pushing these guys back, we've isolated them. Always moving to isolate if you can. Pardon. So let's head to the 5th of November. Okay, so here we are on the 5th of November. Still some more heavy fighting to come to get us to Moscow, but it's looking good. Isolating Leningrad. These guys. It's a city, so like I say, at one point. And 17th Army has, we're making inroads here. The 6th Army pushed forward, so 3rd Romanian has taken this area here. 17th Army is waiting for these operations to finish to move it to Kursk. We still haven't completely surrounded this group here because this is marsh, so I had to move all my infantry over here so that they can go through there, but because of the bad weather they can hardly move. Again, a whole bunch of, we isolate these guys so that we can kill them easily. But we have to go through this strait, and there's going to be more troops waiting for us there, so that's going to make it difficult in the Crimea. Notice we finally isolated these guys off the road to allow ammunition and so forth to flow to my units. These guys are in red, as you can see. And let's move to the 9th of November. 9th of November. Slowly making progress. I will put 4th and 2nd Panzer in sustained operations. And we're just closing in slowly, slowly, slowly. These guys are surrounded. We need to surround this guy. And here you see essentially 6th Army now penetrating here. To destroy the final part of this, the Soviets that have been giving us so much problem in the marsh area. Still haven't got Kharkov completely destroyed. We're set up here to attack. It's inevitable now. The Russians are just, their army is just falling apart. So, let's take a look at the next move. It's now 13 November. Once again, always pushing to try to get those small envelopments now, because your guys just don't have the punch. Leningrad is pretty isolated here. Problem with attacking this guy is that the remnants will go into Leningrad, but that's okay. 9th Army moving across. And here you see 6th Army has finally cut off this group of Soviets here. And are set up to attack Kursk. 17th Army. I'll have to move these guys. What I do is I move these guys so that they get back up there. I finally get some infantry across. These guys are about to die. About to attack over here. They have some large groups, but we're not seeing the concentration of forces that we've had to battle to get this far. 17 November. we continue pushing on them. Still haven't closed on Leningrad, but we're almost there. These guys now down to one group. But, you know, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. The railway is red. There's just so many partisans because we're moving up here. We're taking more territory, so there's always an increase in partisans. Finish wiping out these guys, and we're getting ready to attack down here. So we just need to do some more damage up here before the final push on to Moscow. 21st of November. Once again, you know, always trying to get these guys trapped. That should be fairly easy for these folks here to close this, and then we attack them and destroy them. The Russians are pretty helpless at this moment. I finally moved troops in here, and we're going to be attacking here. We've taken this area here. Finns are coming down for this city. We've surrounded this city. Coming down here. Russians are now totally destroyed here. And Sixth Army, you know, because of the border, really doesn't have anything to do. They've done their job. These guys are affected by cold weather, I think. And we still haven't crossed into the Crimean Peninsula. That's the situation. 21 November. We got cold, I believe, is now affecting our troops. It's now the 25th of November. These guys are isolated, are about to die. Although we're facing some big forces here. Remember, there are conscripts. This guy here. These guys here are going to be toast. Let's go up to my group north. We've surrounded this area, and we've now knocked those guys out of there. And here's the Leningrad force. What I do with Leningrad is I attack. I think I attack it a couple times. You see, when I do that, you see all of these Finnish forces are being thrown into the battle. And these guys over here with tanks are not. Okay? And you can see that this tank, these infantry, which are far better quality, are not being used in the battle. But I do it anyway. And it's to whittle them down and to notice they have 29 action points. Take away their action points so that when I finally do the final assault on Leningrad, they will all collapse. Let's try it. So you see, the defenses do not fall apart, but their action points are now at 0. So these guys are at a point where if I use my best troops, get rid of these, put my Germans in there and attack with all my tanks and my German units, the Leningrad will fall. We've taken Kursk now. Completely surrounded over here. And these guys also. These guys, you know, all I have to do is attack them. and they're finished. But because I'm on military independence, I'm not going to do that. Remember, with military independence, once you take one of the three major cities, then you have a month clock to for the end of the game. So I'm going to just keep my guys over there. We're not going to attack Rostov. We're going to wait until we're set up to attack Moscow and win, and then we'll take them all down all at the same time. Inertia down here with 4th Romanian 11th Army. Let's go to the next move. So here we are on the 29th of November. We're closing in now on Moscow. Notice these guys here all by themselves. It's going to allow us, and these guys here, just 2. Always looking for that weakness. This guy is here. I just bypass him. Get around. Leningrad. We're just eating up territory now and killing as many Russians as we can. As I say, 6th Army doesn't have much to do. 17th Army strays into Army Group Center's territory, and I get a penalty for that, 1-point penalty for being in the wrong, but that's the only one that happens here. These guys, like I said, are just meat. We finally crossed down here in the Crimea. It's a little bit late, but that's okay. So here we are in the 3rd of December, and we're starting to encircle Moscow. These guys are encircled. They're going to die. This guy's still sitting there waiting to die. We finally pushed into Crimea. This guy's waiting to die. Take a look at my relations. Strong, strong, superb, strong, strong, strong. Adolf Hitler has given winter preparations, and I've actually ordered winter clothing and all that. But he still doesn't like me very much. But in this game, the whole thing, what I've found is that, nobody likes the Nazis, okay? Nobody likes the Nazis. OKW doesn't like the Nazis. Your theater commanders don't like the Nazis. Nobody likes the Nazis. And you are playing as a German officer, okay, whose job it is to destroy Moscow, and you don't tolerate the stuff that the Nazis bring on you, like having to do propaganda films and stuff like that. So all of that just goes out the window, okay? You just forget about all that and just tolerate it, if you will. And that helps you to build these strong relationships. Okay. So we've come to 7 December. Moscow is now totally surrounded. Remember, this is the beginning of the move. And in this move, I will attack Leningrad, and Rostov, and they will fall. These guys are trying to get down here, but they're just not going to have the oomph. So the war is almost over. It's now 11 December. We've destroyed these guys here, and we've got a firm hold, completely surrounding Moscow. Leningrad has fallen. Rostov has fallen. We're at the gates of Sevastopol, but we don't have enough force to be able to take them out. I could have waited a little bit. Notice how these guys come here and forces my trucks to go like this to get to my Panzer group, so I'm going to have to move these guys like this, okay, to try to clear out the but it's too late. I mean, we're at the end of the war now. We're it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So let's go to, so what will happen here is I'll just take all of these guys and that's Moscow gone. So let's go to the next move, which is actually the end of the game, would be the 15th of December. Okay, so here we are. Game is over. As you can see, in the 11th of December, I started sending troops down here to clean this out, but it wasn't necessary. Once we had taken all three, it was game over. Game over. Not quite. So let's look at some of the stuff that's generated from the end of the game. And as you can see here, Moscow captured, and now the Fuhrer really likes us. Okay, I'll take a look at the relations here. Yeah, strong, eh? Game over. Germany has won a decisive victory. Final adjusted scores: Germany 64, Russia 22, which we can see down here. Okay. Can forget about all of that. Final evaluation. 5 stars and everything. Leadership analysis. Okay, yeah. What you basically see here is all the Weimar guys love me, and all of the high command and Nazis, they hate me. Strategic analysis. So in the end, we killed 523 units, including headquarters units. 130 in Aegean North, 223 AG South, and 107 in Army Group. 223 in Army Group Center, and 170 in Army Group South. All right. We didn't lose any units, although we came close one time. Tactical analysis. Okay, so I won total battles. I won 706. One was a draw. I've never seen that before. And we lost 100, so we lost a lot of battles there. But most of that coming towards the end, when I was just wailing away on them, trying to knock them down. They're trying to knock down their forces. But there were battles where I just, I thought I was trying to win the battle, and I just didn't win it. Okay. Logistical analysis is very interesting. Okay, notice, look at all of this stuff here. Okay, signaling equipment shortages. They didn't cause me to lose any trains. Okay. Cold weather, lack of infrastructure. None of this stuff caused me to lose any trains. What I lost trains to were, of course, partisans. And notice this 57 here is for Army Group South, because they took so much territory. They had so much partisan problems. And then flooding and mudslides, which I guess are just act of God. And but I was really surprised to see all of this other stuff at 0. Okay. Civil affairs. And notice, no disbanded Soviet units. And I think if you leave a unit behind, like I did, after a certain amount of time, they probably, I know that they're not going to change the game anymore. You know, it's been out for so long, but those guys probably should dissolve and become partisans. Ethical analysis, yep, okay. No war crimes tribunal has interest in me. Overall analysis, yeah, okay. And then finally, cities captured. So let's take a look at this. Army Group North, important stuff here. Riga, 5 points. Tallinn, 5 points. And of course Leningrad, 5 points, 10 points. Army Group South, we've got Brest at 5, Minsk at 5, and Moscow at 10. And then Army Group South, oof, boy did they take a lot of cities, okay? And that's a lot of points too. So you've got Kiev with 5 points, Odessa with 5 points, Kharkov with 5 points, and finally Rostov with 10 points. Let's take a look at the final stats here. Now at the very end of this game, we don't see them here, but they appeared for a little while. We had some blue Soviets were showing up, and I believe these are the guys that are coming from the east, freed up by Allied intelligence that the Japanese were not going to attack them, and so you have regular army troops coming in, but too late for that. What am I doing? And then casualties. They lose 4 million, and I lose 1 million. So 4-1 at the end. So 6 in the first part, 5-1 in the second part, and 4-1 in the third part. And there you go. The end of my campaign. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the format, especially. I've put 500 hours playing this game, and because I really wanted to understand what was under the hood, and there's a lot under the hood, which I think is why the game isn't quite as popular as I would have thought something like this would have been. Supposedly it was not supposed to be as really in the weeds, like War in the East, for example. But it has a lot under the hood, and understanding the relationships and understanding the supply system. All of this stuff takes time, and it's a pretty steep learning curve. You have to play games. You have to play games and learn from your mistakes. So hopefully you enjoyed this this AAR. I thank you for watching, and I don't know where I'm going to go from here, because I think this is the end of my videos for Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa. I don't know what I'm going to play next, to be quite honest. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the three-part AAR, and until the next time, y'all take care, and I'll see you later.